Bangladesh wildlife, rivers, mangroves. Home geography and travel countries of the world. Plant and animal life. Bangladesh in general possesses a luxuriant vegetation, with villages appearing to be buried in groves of mango, jackfruit, bamboo, betel nut, coconut, and date palm. However, only a small portion of the country's land surface is covered with forests. Bangladesh has 4 different areas of vegetation. The eastern zone, consisting of parts of the Sylhet and Chittagong areas, has many low hills covered with jungles of bamboo and rattan, a species of climbing palm. The most common plant is a large type of bamboo that forms the basis of the country's paper industry. The central zone, covering parts of the country to the north of Dhaka, contains many lakes and supports swampy vegetation. The soil of part of this zone produces the Madhupur jungles. The area lying to the northwest of the Jamuna and to the southwest of the Padma forms a flat plain, the vegetation of which consists mostly of cultivated plants and orchards. Babool, Acacia arabica, is the most conspicuous tree. The southern zone along the Bay of Bengal contains the vast wetlands of the Sundarbans, with their distinctive mangrove vegetation. Several of the mangrove species are commercially valuable, including the Sundari, Heratera fomes or H. minor, for which the Sundarbans are named, and the Goran, Cereops roxburgiana. Also valuable are the Gawa or Gengwa, Excocaria agalucha, trees, which yield a softwood used for making newsprint. Among the astounding variety of flowers are water lilies, locally called shapla, the country's national flower, marigolds, tuberoses, and Chinese hibiscus. The bokal, Mimosops elengi, is a common shrub that produces small red berries. Bangladesh has an abundance of wildlife, including more than 100 species of mammals, although the population of some species has diminished significantly since the early 20th century. Elephants, living in herds of fewer than a dozen to nearly 100, are found in the Chittagong Hill Tracts and in the northeastern Sylhet region. Domesticated water buffaloes, Bubalus bubalus, are used for plowing and pulling carts. Of the different kinds of deer, the small muntjac, genus Muntiacus, also called barking deer, and the large sambar deer, Cervus unicolor, with its maned neck, are well known. The samba lives in the eastern jungles of the country. The medium-sized spotted deer, C. axis, was once common in many parts of the country but by the early 21st century had become limited to the Sundarbans region. The Barasinga, C. duvacheli, also once inhabited the Sundarbans but became extinct in Bangladesh in the 20th century. Similarly, the hog deer, Axis procinus, has disappeared from the country. Of the carnivores, the Royal Bengal Tiger, Panthera tigris, is the best known. The common leopard, P. pardus, is native to the region, as is its smaller relative, the rare clouded leopard, Neofelis nebulosa, with its dark gray oblong spotted fur. The ferocious leopard cat, Felis bengalensis, is about the size of the domestic cat but with longer legs. Bears in Bangladesh include the sloth bear, Melarsis ursinus, Asiatic black bear, Ursus tibetanus, also called Himalayan black bear, and sun bear, U. malayanus. The sloth bear is the most common. Jackals, Canis aureis, whose eerie howling at night is a familiar sound in Bangladesh, are abundant, as are various species of mongooses. The Bengal, or rhesus, monkey, Macaca mulatta, is about the most common primate in the country. Bangladesh is inhabited by hundreds of species of birds. Common house crows are found everywhere, and their cries are detested by many people of Bangladesh, who regard crows as a bad omen. Bulbuls, magpie robins, and a wide variety of warblers are also found. Some are migrants that appear only in winter. Several kinds of flycatchers occur, and there are myna birds of several kinds. Other species of birds include various game birds, parakeets, cuckoos, hawks, owls, kingfishers, hornbills, hoopoes, woodpeckers, and vultures. Among the eagles, the crested serpent eagle and the ring-tailed fishing eagle are the most common. There also are an array of water birds, including herons, storks, ducks, and wild geese. People. Ethnic groups. The vast majority of the population of Bangladesh is Bengali. a term describing both an ethnic and a linguistic group. The Bengali people are historically of diverse origin, having emerged from the confluence of various communities that entered the region over the course of many centuries. The Veda peoples were perhaps the earliest group to settle in the area. According to some ethnologists, they were followed by peoples from the Mediterranean and neighboring areas, particularly those who spoke Indo-European languages. During the 8th century CE, persons of Arab, Persian, and Turkish origin moved in large numbers to the subcontinent. By the beginning of the 13th century, they had entered what is now Bangladesh. The contention that contemporary Bengali Muslims are all descended from lower caste Hindus who had converted to Islam, then, is clearly incorrect. A substantial proportion are descendants of Muslims who reached the subcontinent from elsewhere. Non-Bengalis, consisting primarily of smaller indigenous groups, constitute only a tiny fraction of the population. Most of these peoples inhabit the Chittagong Hill Tracts in the southeast, the most sparsely settled area of the country. Some of the groups are related to the peoples of Myanmar, Burma, and many follow Buddhism, although both Hinduism and Christianity also have a significant following. Of the dozen or so ethno-linguistic groups of the Chittagong Hill Tracts, the largest are the Shakma, the Marma, Ma or Mogue, the Tripura, Tipra, and the Maro, the Komoi, Kumi, the Kuki, and the Mizo, formerly called Lushai, are among the smaller groups. Since the mid-1970s, ethnic tensions and periodic violence have marked the Chittagong Hill Tracts, where many peoples long resident in the area have objected to the influx of Muslim Bengali settlers. Indigenous minority peoples in other parts of Bangladesh include the Santhal, the Khasi, the Garo, and the Hajang. The Santhal peoples live in the northwestern part of Bangladesh, the Khasi in Sylhet and the Khasi Hills near the border with Assam, India, and the Garo and Hajang in the northeastern part of the country.